Never wait for tomorrow. What if tomorrow never comes? You only pass through this life once. You don't come back for an encore. It's more important to try to surround yourself with people who can give you a little happiness. Ambition is a dream with a V8 engine. Ain't nowhere else in the world where you can go from driving a truck to Cadillac overnight. Do something worth remembering. The Lord can give, and the Lord can take away. I might be herding sheep next year. Don't criticize what you don't understand, son. You never walked in that man's shoes. People ask me where I got my singing style. I didn't copy my style from anybody. Animals don't hate, and we're supposed to be better than them. To judge a man by his weakest link or deed is like judging the power of the ocean by one wave. Adversity is sometimes hard upon a man, but for one man who can stand prosperity, there are 100 that will stand adversity. When I was a child, ladies and gentlemen, I was a dreamer. I read comic books and I was the hero of the comic book. I saw movies and I was the hero in the movie. So every dream I ever dreamed has come true 100 times. Values are like fingerprints. Nobody's are the same, but you leave them all over everything you do. I don't do any vulgar movements. I'll stay in Memphis. I'm trying to keep a level head. You have to be careful out in the world. It's so easy to get turned. I figure all any kid needs is hope and the feeling he or she belongs. If I could do or say anything that would give some kid that feeling, I would believe I had contributed something to the world. I never expected to be anybody important. Whatever I will become will be what God has chosen for me. I was training to be an electrician. I suppose I got wired the wrong way around somewhere along the line. Every time I think that I'm getting old, and gradually going to the grave, something else happens. If you let your head get too big, it'll break your neck. It's human nature to gripe, but I'm going ahead and doing the best I can. I like to sing ballads the way Eddie Fisher does and the way Perry Como does. But the way I'm singing now is what makes the money. Some people tap their feet, some people snap their fingers, and some people sway back and forth. I just sorta do them all together, I guess. Truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it ain't going away. I've tried to lead a straight, clean life, not set any kind of a bad example. That's why I hate to get started in these jam sessions. I'm always the last one to leave. I have no use for bodyguards, but I have very specific use for 2 highly trained certified public accountants. There are too many people that depend on me. I'm too obligated. I'm in too far to get out. Rhythm is something you either have or don't have, but when you have it all over. I am not the king. Jesus Christ is the king. I'm just an entertainer. I'm not trying to be sexy. It's just my way of expressing myself when I move around. It's not how much you have that makes people look up to you. It's who you are. I'll never feel comfortable taking a strong drink, and I'll never feel easy smoking a cigarette. I just don't think those things are right for me. I learned how important it is to entertain people and give them a reason to come and watch you play. Those people in New York are not gonna change me none. I don't know anything about music. In my line you don't have to. When things go wrong, don't go with them. The first time that I appeared on stage, it scared me to death. I really didn't know what all the yelling was about. I didn't realize that my body was moving. It's a natural thing to me. So to the manager backstage I said, "What did I do? What did I do?" And he said, "Whatever it is, go back and do it again." The image is one thing and the human being is another. It's very hard to live up to an image. Put it that way. I'm no hillbilly singer. I've never written a song in my life. It's all a big hoax. People think you're crazy if you talk about things they don't understand. Sad thing is, you can still love someone and be wrong for them. From the time I was a kid, I always knew something was going to happen to me. Didn't know exactly what. A live concert to me is exciting because of all the electricity that is generated in the crowd and on stage. It's my favorite part of the business. Live concerts. Everybody comes from the same source. If you hate another human being, you're hating part of yourself. More than anything else, I want the folks back at home to think right of me. The next thing I knew, I was out of the service and making movies again. My first picture was called GI Blues. I thought I was still in the army. Man, I really like Vegas. Computers may outthink us one day, but as long as people got feelings, we'll be better than they are. I was an only child, and mother was always right with me all my life. I used to get very angry at her when I was growing up. It's a natural thing. The army teaches boys to think like men. Since the beginning, it was just the same. The only difference, the crowds are bigger now. After a hard day of basic training, you could eat a rattlesnake. I sure lost my musical direction in Hollywood. My songs were the same conveyor belt mass production. Just like most of my movies were. Just because I managed to do a little something, I don't want anyone back home to think I got the big head. I'm so nervous. I've always been nervous, ever since I was a kid. I don't think I'm bad for people. If I did think I was bad for people, I would go back to driving a truck, and I really mean this. The closest I ever came to getting married was just before I started singing. In fact, my first record saved my neck. When I get married, it'll be no secret. I happened to come along in the music business when there was no trend. I knew by heart all the dialogue of James Dean's films. I could watch Rebel Without a Cause 100 times over. They put me on television, and the whole thing broke loose. It was wild, I tell you for sure. I was an overnight sensation. Where could I go but to the Lord? Rock and roll music, if you like it, if you feel it, you can't help but move to it. That's what happens to me. I can't help it. We do 2 shows a night for 5 weeks. A lot of times we'll go upstairs and sing until daylight. Gospel songs. We grew up with it. It more or less puts your mind at ease. It does mine. The colored folks been singing it and playing it just like I'm doing now, man. For more years than I know. I got it from them. Man, I was tame compared to what they do now. Are you kidding? I didn't do anything but just jiggle. When your intelligence don't tell you something ain't right, your conscience gives you a tap you on the shoulder and says hold on. If it don't, you're a snake. I'll never make it. It will never happen. Because they're never going to hear me because they're screaming all the time. Love had surely made us all and hate would surely make us fall. Those movies sure got me into a rut. I just like to be treated like a regular customer. When I got out of high school I was driving a truck. I was just a poor boy from Memphis. I've never gotten over what they call stage fright. I go through it every show. I'm pretty concerned. I'm pretty much thinking about the show. I never get completely comfortable with it, and I don't let the people around me get comfortable with it. In that I remind them that it's a new crowd out there. It's a new audience. And they haven't seen us before. So it's got to be like the first time we go on. I hope I didn't bore you too much with my life story. Until we meet again, may God bless you as He has blessed me. Thank you. Thank you very much.